Hello friends, welcome to the today's online session. In today's online session, we will be discussing the central part of the fluid mechanics, that is nothing but the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, Bernoulli's equation. Sometimes it is also called as Bernoulli's principle. This Bernoulli's equation, it is nothing but it is one form of a Newton's laws only, but it is expressed in terms of some different mathematical expression. Okay, so this expression, what we will be doing, we will be deriving the expression for the energies which we have discussed in our earlier lecture, which is kinetic energy, potential energy, and pressure energy. And we will consider all these three energy, and we will be using the work energy theorem which we have studied in chapter number 1, that is motion, and then we will see what is the statement of the Bernoulli's equation. This Bernoulli's equation has so many applications in day-to-day life, okay, that we will be also discussing, but in the next lecture. Okay, so let us start with our first topic, that is nothing but the Bernoulli's equation. Now, in order to discuss this Bernoulli's equation, what I have done is this. I have considered one tube, okay, through which a liquid is flowing. Okay, so I have considered the two region of this tube. One region at the left side and the another region at the right hand side. Okay, so within this tube, what I have considered is that when the liquid is at this point, when this liquid is at the left hand side, I have considered the area of cross section of the tube, it is A1. Okay, and when the liquid is going at towards the right hand side, so the area of cross section of the tube is A2. Now, this point, what I am doing is this. I am considering this pipe is at this point, it is at a height h1, and as you move from the left hand side towards the right hand side, the height of the tube, it increases from h1 to h2. And one more thing is that as you move from left to the right, the width of the pipe goes on increasing, okay, and also height increases. Okay, so these things we have to consider. Okay, first of all, we will consider the description of the figure, and after looking into the description of the figure, then we will proceed for the further explanation. Okay, so first of all, note it down, the explanation from the figure. Consider steady flow of liquid. Consider a steady flow of liquid through a tube. The area of cross section. The area of cross section of tube is A1 with height h1 at height h1 on left hand side. Okay. The velocity of liquid at left is v1. At right side, the area of cross section is A1, and tube is gradually widens up to the height h2. Consider a small element. mass delta m at left with length delta L1. Okay, so length of the element is delta L1 and mass of the element is delta M. Okay, now what we are considering over here is that the pressure is applied on this side in this direction, the liquid is flowing in this direction. What it will happen, this liquid small element, it will try to move on this side. Okay, so this pressure, the pressure on the element at left is P1 and that at right is P2. Okay, so when the element is at this left hand side, its pressure is P1. Okay, and when it will reach up to this point, the pressure is P2. So it is acting in this direction, this pressure is acting in this direction. Actually, force due to the pressure, it is acting in this direction at the right hand side, and the left hand side, it is acting in this fashion. Okay, so now see, when we are saying that this element is moving in this direction, so from height h1 to height h2, okay, so there is a height difference between right hand side and left hand side. H1 is the height at the left hand side, H2 is the height at the right hand side. So the height difference between these two, it is H2 minus H1. So it means liquid molecules you have to lift at a certain distance from against the gravitational force. It means in order to bring this molecule from this position to this position, you have to perform some work done, and that work done, it is stored in the form of potential energy. Okay, this is one thing. Again, one more thing is that the element of mass delta M, it is having a velocity v1 on this side, so it is having a certain amount of kinetic energy as well. Okay, this is having a kinetic energy as well. Okay, and see, as this force due to pressure is acting on this element, okay, force due to pressure is acting on this element. So as you move from this point to this point, this element, it will travel a certain distance. Let us say delta L1 is the distance traveled by this element. Then work is done by this pressure force that we have to calculate. Okay, so the work is done on the liquid by pressure force. Now see, P1 is the pressure. Now we people know what is formula for pressure. Pressure is nothing but the force upon area. So from this one we can calculate F is equal to, if I transfer this A on this side, it will becomes P into A. So pressure into area, it will give you the force. So what is this P1 A1? It is nothing but the force we give to the pressure. Okay, so by pressure force P1 A1 is, now how will you calculate the work done? Work done is nothing but the force into displacement. So it is P1 A1 and let us say the displacement is delta L1. So it is the work done on the liquid by the pressure force P1 A1. It is P1 A1 delta L1. This is first work done. Now second, the work done by the pressure force P2A2, which is on the right hand side, P2A2. Now see, the pressure is in this direction, your displacement is in this direction. Pressure force is in this direction, it is from right to left, and your displacement is from left to right. So it means this pressure force, it is doing the work done in opposite direction. Okay, displacement and force are in opposite direction, so this work done has to be negative. So is minus of P2 A2 into delta L2. Okay, minus P2 A2 delta L2. Number 3, the work done against gravity. Work done against gravity G to lift liquid at height. Now see, the height on the left hand side it is h1, height on the right hand side it is h2. So overall increase in the height it is from this to this. It is h2 minus h1. h2 minus h1 is okay. So this will be again minus mg h2 minus h1. Okay, this is minus mg h2 minus h1. Now you people might ask me the one question, so why this work done is coming out to be negative. Remember this, that your molecule it is lifted in this direction, which is vertically upward, so your displacement is in this direction. Displacement is in this direction, but the gravitational force it acts in the vertically downward direction. So whenever you have a work done and displacement in the opposite direction, the sign of the work done it will be always negative. So remember this thing. So same is the case for the work done in the second case, because here is also the work done due to the pressure force P2 A2, it is in opposite direction. Displacement is in this direction, force is in this direction. Okay, so the net work done is given by W is equal to the work done due to the first quantity, it is P1 A1 delta L1. P1 A1 delta L1. Work done due to second quantity, it is P2 A2 delta L2. Okay, and work done due to the third quantity, it is minus mg h2 minus h1. It is h2 minus h1. Now what we will do, we will rearrange this equation. For this, what I will do, I will just erase this. According to work energy theorem. According to work energy theorem. Now we people have studied the work energy theorem in our first chapter. What is work energy theorem tells us? That work energy theorem tells us that whatever is the amount of work is done by the system, that is nothing but the change in kinetic energy. This is equal to change in kinetic energy. Okay, this is change in kinetic energy. Now what we will do, we have to calculate the change in kinetic energy. Now see, when our molecule particle it was on the left hand side, its velocity was v1, and when it was on the right hand side, its velocity was v2, and the mass of the particle it is delta m. So we can calculate the change in kinetic energy. Therefore, change in kinetic energy is equal to, so it is final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So it is 1/2 delta m v2 square minus 1/2 delta m v1 square. So this is change in kinetic energy, that is final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Okay, now see, this is your change in kinetic energy. We will call this as an equation number 2. Okay, and we will call this as an equation number 3. Now in this equation number 1, we will substitute this equation 2 and 3, because W is equal to, from 1, 2, 3, from equation 1, 2 and 3, okay, W is equal to, we can write W is equal to what? It is this quantity, okay, W is equal to this quantity, and this quantity, that is what? P1, A1, delta L1 minus P2, A2, delta L2, okay, minus mg S2 minus H1, This is the work done is equal to kinetic energy. We have calculated the kinetic energy, which is 1/2 delta m V2 square minus 1/2 delta m V1 square. Okay, so this is the equation. Now what I will do, I will transfer the terms with the subscript 1 on the one side and the terms with subscript with 2 on the other side. Okay, actually this mass is delta m. You have to remember this mass is delta m. Okay, but A1 into delta L1. Now see what it was. This A1, it is the area of cross section of the tube, and delta L1 is the length of the tube. So this is nothing but the volume of the tube. And density, we know, density it is written as density is equal to mass upon volume. This is the formula which we have already studied. Okay, this one we can write density symbol is rho, mass of the element it is delta m divided by this volume of the element it is A into delta L. You can say A1 into delta L1. Okay, so from this one we can write for this delta m by rho. Delta m by rho is equal to A1 into delta L1. Okay, and it is an incompressible liquid, so density will be same. Okay, so whatever, whether I have written it is for A1 delta L1, it will be same for A2 delta L2, because the liquid is incompressible liquid. Okay, so for this we can substitute in this equation. So it is P1 and A1 into delta L1. A1 into delta L1, it is delta m by rho. It is delta m by rho minus P2. This will be delta m by rho again, because it is incompressible liquid. So density it will be same, minus delta m g S2 minus H1. This is equal to 1/2 delta m V2 square minus 1/2 delta m V1 square. Okay, now see, delta m is at this point, it is on this term as well. Every term contains delta m. So what we can do, we will divide this equation by delta m on the both sides. If I divide this equation by delta m on the both sides, what I will get? Now see, divide by delta m to both sides. Okay, so if I divide by delta m to the both sides, what I will get? It is P1 minus P2. It is P1 minus P2, and I am just taking delta m by rho common, and it will be 1 upon rho on this side. Okay, because I am dividing this, so this will get cancelled. Okay, this will getting cancelled. So I am just taking P1 minus P2 outside, and it will be 1 over rho minus, in this case it is G H2 minus H1. H2 minus H1 is equal to 1/2 V2 square minus 1/2 V1 square. Okay, now multiply both sides by rho. If I multiply both sides by the rho, what I will get? It is P1 minus P2. P1 minus P2 minus, if I multiply by the rho, this rho and this multiplied rho will get cancelled, and it will be rho multiplied by G H2 minus H1. It is H2 minus H1. This is equal to, this will be 1/2 rho V2 square minus 1/2 rho V1 square. Okay. Now, see what we will do. Now we will connect the terms with subscript 1 and subscript 2 on the other sides. Okay. So on this side I will keep P1. Okay. I will transfer this minus P2 on that side. It will becomes plus P2. Okay. This term minus rho G H2. If I transfer on this side, it will becomes plus rho G H2. Okay. And minus minus, this will becomes plus rho G H1. So this will be rho G H1, and this 1/2 rho V1 square, which is minus on this side. If I transfer on this side, it will becomes 1/2 rho V1 square, and it will be 1/2 rho V2 square on these sides. Okay. What do you mean by this? The term symbols or subscripts 1, 1, 1. It represents the pressure energy. This represents the potential energy. This represents the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy plus potential energy plus pressure energy on the left hand side, it is equal to the pressure energy plus potential energy plus kinetic energy on the right hand side. It suggests that from this one we can write P plus rho GH plus 1/2 rho V square is equal to constant. It means this is nothing but this is the mathematical expression for the Bernoulli's principle. It suggests that for a steady flow of liquid, a steady incompressible flow of liquid, the sum of the pressure energy, potential energy and kinetic energy remains always constant throughout the medium. Wherever you measure it at a left hand side or right hand side, it doesn't matter. Okay. This is called as the Bernoulli's principle, or sometimes it is called as the Bernoulli's equation as well. Okay. I hope you people have understood this. Okay. For today's lecture, we'll stop over here. Okay. Thank you.